Cyrus Says, and I've got a guest from a very different genre. I think first time in over 800 episodes or webisodes, I've got a guest from this genre, but we'll talk to her in a second. First, I have to tell the truth about life. You see, outside this club called the Bombay Gymkhana, there's a huge pavement area. Huge. And I've discussed this before. It's about 35 feet wide. I'm not lying to you. And where we park the cars is actually on the road. And today I had a fight at 6:50 in the morning with a guy who was walking in front of the car and refusing to move. And I explained to him कि 35 feet है उधर आप देखो और यहाँ पे 5 feet है आप गिन के दिखाओ this 35 this 5 I did all that and I'm trying to explain to him nothing went in his head. He's not able to understand the civic duty when you're a pedestrian is to walk on the pavement. Why do we even have pavement? Just remove them. It's really painful. See, I'm all about the law. Don't tell me about Garib Amir. I hate all that crap. It's all about the law. And the law is very clear. Your pavement belongs to you. The road belongs to a motorist. Why can't we just live peacefully by abiding by the law? Anyway, in the end, he spat at me and walked away. And then I was just too bored to go after him because he was a good 15, 20 feet away on the main road, walking like a car. And we are not allowed to take the car on the pavement. So that's the story. Anyway, enough of my ranting. Let's now talk to a more pleasant person, a more pleasant life and less of my problems. This is presenting Pesh Karte Hain. And her name sounds like a film star. And she's in the film business. Mind you, not just Bollywood, I'm told even Hollywood. So she's already, gone all over the place in such a young career. She's barely into her 30s. This young lady's name is Ting 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 Shivangi Singh. Pung, 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 pung.
Hey,
Hi,
Cyrus.
Shivangi. Welcome to the
Hi,
show.
Cyrus.
And can
Thank
I
you
just
for
start? But
having me.
don't be silly. We are begging you to come on. And let me tell you firstly, your name doesn't it sound, at least for my generation, sounds very filmy in the sense Shivangi Singh. It just sounds like a Bollywood star. No?
Actually, I gave this name to myself when I was like in third standard in school because my parents gave me another name.
I want to know
So
the other name. We have to have the other name. We have to change it
that
right
was
now.
that was Shuchita, and I just like my friends used to tease me with because I didn't know the meaning of that name. So one day I was watching this movie of Margarita and she was playing this IS officer and she was like beating men in the film. I was like, yeah, I want this name, and that was Shivangi. So I just
Oh,
went
you
to my
you
school
took it from a
admissions
character of
department.
Madhuri Dixit.
I
Wow,
know.
excellent. But Suchita is a lovely name. Why would you say no to that? I know a couple of Suchitas.
I was
It's
a
a
kid,
fairly
and I think I didn't
somebody teased
understand
you.
the meaning. It was a little difficult to pronounce, so maybe that's why.
Suchita. That's odd. It's fairly. I mean, it's not as common as a Shivangi, which is like top
I
bracket
know. Yeah.
normal name. But
Yeah.
normally people want names which are different. Like in my community, Cyrus is a very common name. So it's like
Mhm.
nobody's even imagining it. And to be without any disrespect, Shivangi is probably a very common name in Lucknow also. It's
Yes.
not like you've
Mhm.
gone out of your way to name someone. Suchita
Right.
slightly looks like parents ने कुछ काम करके मेहनत करके
I
सोच
know.
सोच करके I mean even that counts for something. But anyway, the good thing is you decided on your own to take
Yeah.
your name, and your parents didn't stop you.
No, my mom was like, okay, just do whatever she's asking for. So,
So you were a bully, huh? Shivangi,
yeah.
stroke Suchita, you were a bully from a young age. This Madhuri Dixit character where she's beating up men, I think I went into your. Luckily, you have the artistic side also, but there's obviously that strong side. Let me introduce you properly. As usual, I've spoken rubbish and not come to the point. Introducing, and this is what your biodata says, huh? And it sounds like an item number. Introducing Lucknow girl, Shivangi Singh. That was the first line. Production designer,
Perfect.
set designer, and art director based in LA and Mumbai. Okay, there's lots of stuff you've done. You were in Jamia Millia Islamia University, which is a lot of people who get into the fine arts. Then a
Yeah.
bachelor's degree in fine arts, and then you went on to study, I think, abroad as well, right?
Yes, I did go to LA.
Okay, so you'll have
Uh,
to let's go back in life and trace your journey. Shivangi, stroke, Suchita. Oh, I love that. I'm going to irritate you throughout. You don't mind, huh? I'm like that terrible, fly or something, mosquito that's bothering you from time to time, and not you think it's gone, but it comes back. So this show basically is just about we find interesting people like you with successful careers and try to talk to you and find out what your entire life is all about. At any point
sure.
you feel like telling me to shut up, you can, and you should. It gets a lot of good feedback. So let's go back. You're a girl in Lucknow, doing normal things, growing up, and ye art degree. Let's understand first. Please explain what exactly is art direction or art. What is the exact phrase? Art production,
Production
right?
design. Yes.
Production design. Huh.
Yeah.
So for those people, because they're very complicated. Exactly what
Terms.
happens on a film
Yeah,
set?
it's
Huh.
very technical. Yeah. So it's basically like production designer is responsible for the overall visual aesthetics of a story of a like it can be film or TV or a new media like OTT platform. So basically, production design is responsible for the overall visual aesthetics of the story, and the main aim of any like film set we build is basically the goal of that set is to bring the audience much closer to the world of those characters and to help the storytelling basically. So like whatever you see on screen, like whether it's basically giving you the viewers the sense of where the story is taking place, whether it's Lucknow or it's Mumbai or maybe it's in London, we can create that within the set.
Just if you can give us one example of a film you worked on and just explain, I think it'll be easier to understand what happens in the,
Okay.
maybe if it's a more period film. Let me just check.
Yeah, so for example, like I worked on Children of War. This was like I did quite early in my career back in 2013 or 14. So this film was based on Bangladesh Liberation War 1971. So it was all period, and we had to create this world like all over India. So we were shooting in Delhi, Gurgaon actually, and then there was like lot of prep and research went to actually recreate that world. Like for art department, I would say I went into research and actually found like even the smallest details like alcohol bottle, what they used to drink at that specific point of time, and then
Wow.
recreate the graphics of that in artwork and create those basically thinking and keeping in mind the authenticity of that particular time period. So when the viewer is actually watching, the audience is actually watching that film, they will feel that they're actually in that specific time period and without even realizing that we have recreated that world.
So
So
you've got
those
to,
are the kind of,
so there's two things. You've got to research it properly, research
yes,
karke get all that right, and then you have to make it
yes,
aesthetically poetic, or whatever the right word is, colorful,
yes,
vibrant, beautiful. So you
yes,
have to do both things. It's not one thing alone. It's not just recreating. So it's quite a strenuous
yes,
job,
exactly.
and we don't even give
Yeah, I
credit
mean
to it.
like it's,
Huh, sorry.
sorry, no, you can,
No,
sorry.
I'm just saying we don't give credit to the work done in production design, because the director and the actors get all the credit. Film is such a collective
I know
effort.
it's,
Having
yeah, it's
I
like all technicians usually don't get that much of
Yeah, no, but
the,
especially you,
the
because you're the look. It's a series of pictures. What is a movie in the end? It's like a drawing book which is moving. So we are seeing a series of pictures. So
yes,
very much the director of photography and yourself have actually given that picture more than anybody else. How it comes alive is the director and the
true,
actor, but that is almost the
yes,
second half. First half is you guys, then the second half is them,
yes,
and the first half is forgotten,
yes,
and the second half gets the credit. Enough,
yeah,
Shivangi. We will fight this hartal. We will start the hartal, but not in this weather. We'll wait till December when it's cool.
like
Because
Hollywood has already started the strike.
yeah, that's true. That's true. We have to be a little careful who we join, and the government is watching this show. Huh?
I know.
Where are you in Lucknow? Where are you right now? Mumbai.
No, I'm in Mumbai right now. Yeah, I'm working
Okay.
on this Dharma project, Jug Jug Geo. So
Right, right,
I've been working for past 1 year, and it's never ending project.
right.
It's like,
And Dharma is very careful about the look. From the early Karan Johar himself
yes,
pictures,
yes,
look is
yeah.
seriously taken. I
It's
mean, he
like
would
a
never.
specifically Dharma aesthetics. Every
Correct.
meeting we have, it's
I didn't. I
Dharma
didn't want to
aesthetic.
say that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that must be. I won't say it's a challenge, but in the end, it's like even if we are there anchoring a show or whatever, that to some extent we are told what to do, right? They'll tell you don't say this, don't say that, whatever. So in your case also, as you call it, dharma ka jo aesthetics hai, it's like a separate college. So how do you bring the Shivangi side to it and yet keep them happy? I mean, that compromise or whatever is also probably a challenge.
Yeah, it's like there's a like luckily I'm working with a director who is not that like commercial in his mindset. Like Raj Mehta, he did Good News also, but he is a Dharma director. But still, I think along the lines like somewhere like when there's a song, he's like okay, follow the Dharma aesthetics, and otherwise like when I'm in real location like doing court or airport, he wants like the real authentic space. Like if it's a small hometown or it's small town, so he's like, okay, just do it as real as you can. So luckily, that's a good thing. We are kind of on the same page. Uh,
Well, this is great fun actually for you, because in a sense, एक picture mein you've got these two streams running alongside. You got to go back into realism and yet keep it beautiful, and then you have to go into
yes,
slightly extra. What is the right word? I won't say melodramatic, but zyada color and you know what I'm saying, more
yeah,
dramatic sort of look, which
yeah,
the music and all has, which is also part of our culture. And I think in many ways is we also enjoy it. Some
yeah.
people
I
look down
missed
on
it
it, but
when
we
I
do
was
enjoy it.
like, yeah, I missed that that Bollywood, that song and dance numbers like that
Color,
for
huh?
the
Huh.
past 4 5 years. Yeah, those like extra
When you
wedding
were when you were
colors.
in LA.
When I was in LA, yeah. I was there for like 4.5 years working there, but it was all like
Arey, you should have
muted
told me.
colors.
I'd have sent you Priyanka Chopra's number. She'd have sung on the phone to you. She's hanging around in LA or New York or somewhere there.
Yeah.
Sorry, let's get back to your life now. Because it's most interesting. So when Suchita turns to Shivangi, she's in school, she's in college. When did you decide? Did you what kind of person gets into this? Do you have an idea? My wife is a photographer and artist and all, and I know she's when she sees a film and I see a film, she's always looking in the backdrop, background, architecture, lighting, and which I never appreciate, and I now look at it because of her. So is it something that some people have a natural bent for? When you are watching Madhuri Dixit beating up people, you're also watching the background. You're also watching the uniform is not matching or whatever.
I think no, it came with time. I think I was always interested in drawing, painting as a kid, but my family was like never happy with it because they were like, "Oh, you're good in studies. You should study science, math." So I did study PCMB until my 12th standard, and then I was like, "No, I don't want to be like doctor or engineer because that was the common thing among my friends. Like everyone wanted to be either like engineer or a doctor. So I was like, I want to do something different. And then I was like, okay, maybe architecture or something. And then that was a natural. I think I met a mentor and he suggested that okay, you should do fine arts. And then I applied for Delhi colleges, and luckily I got in. So
But when you were
that's how it's
young,
all
but
started.
did you were you interested in all this? I'm just trying to find out.
Not at all. I'm like my family is still like in shock, kind of a shock because I never watched even a TV like at home. I never used to watch
Really?
TV. Yes, I was a kid who used to do her homework while the family was watching TV. I was like that.
What was Shivangi's interest as a young girl? What
Exactly.
did?
I
Please
used
don't
to
tell me
draw
padai,
and
padai,
paint.
padai.
Draw and paint. Painting, like drawing, like cartoon. That was also like just cartoon and drawing and stuff. But the study was my main thing, and yeah, and
So
maybe dancing.
you were a nerd growing up. You were more
Yeah,
interested in studies and introverted lifestyle, and you were not interested
no
in
movie, no
cinema
nothing.
and
Yeah, actually, I
no
had to
band baja
catch up
barat.
all the.
Huh.
I had to catch up all the movie and stuff like when I was in college because I didn't watch anything when I was a kid.
And
So
you
I
can't
was like,
understand the references of your friends
exactly,
because
yeah.
I
It's
can
like, oh,
yeah.
what are they talking about? Okay, so I
Huh.
had no recollection or memory of like 90s, what was happening in 90s. So I had to like
Isn't
kind of.
that ironic? I mean, that's really strange. All your friends were cut out for a life in Bollywood if they had talent because they had that research and that in their DNA it was well implanted and all. And you
Yeah,
almost rejected all that, and then you're the one who lands up in Bollywood and
yeah,
Hollywood, and you didn't watch anything. That's amazing.
yeah.
What a story. Yeah. But so you got into architecture, and then obviously it became more
Yeah, I got into
professional.
fine arts. Yeah, I got in through the entrance. It was difficult entrance. I knew like there was like just 20 seats at Jamia, that fine arts college, and I was like, I wasn't expecting anything positive, so I didn't go to see my results of the entrance exam. But my friend called and he said, "Oh, you got in." I was like, "Oh, really?" And then I went for an interview, and that's how it all started. But then in
Architect-
fine arts also you study drawing, painting, and those kind of stuff, and a little of graphic design. But then main I think my interest, and I realized like production design or art in films could be a thing when I went to a film festival in Delhi while I was doing fine arts. I think it was like 2007 or 8. So it was the Oceans Film Festival, and there was like they were showing world cinema from Iran to France and everywhere else. So that's when I realized, oh, it's like each and every frame is like a painting in itself, and you do the compose it with DOP and all that technicians, and that's how you create that world. So that's how I started doing my research. And I think during those times, Google and everything wasn't that like YouTube wasn't there, I guess, or maybe we were not very used to of using like doing Google everything. So I used to go to the libraries and study and reach to out to people to understand how all these like different departments and firms work. And
Hey,
yeah,
also, adat bhi hai na? Don't forget that for years you're doing that. So why get into Google? This works for you pretty well. Pick up a book, open it, research it thoroughly.
yeah,
Maybe it's a better
exactly.
way to do it. I don't know. This
Yeah, I think it's
I
just
feel
still you can't trust Google like completely. I mean, like if you really want to go authentic, I think books are definitely still I would go for. Yeah.
wow. Anyway, what an interesting story. So you reached architecture. Now, where does the entry into Bollywood? Because to get into Bollywood in production design or anything is not easy. And you're a girl from Lucknow. I'm presuming कि mummy daddy का कुछ influence नहीं है. There is no पहचान वहचान. So how the hell did you suddenly, I mean, land up here?
It's funny story. So I did my finish my fine arts, and then I was doing this photography and visual communication from Jamia itself. It's a mass communication program, and then all my classmates, all my friends knew that I want to get into films. So someone in at Yash Raj, like my friend's friend was working at Yash Raj, was a cinematographer, and then my friend, without telling me and without even asking me, he just recommended me, and I got a call from Yash Raj for being an intern, and I was like, I got so scared because I heard like I've been like hearing so many like horrible stories about Bombay. I said no, I can't go, and I just like made some like stupid excuse that I can't come now or something, because like everyone was saying, oh, how did you get into it, because it's really hard. I was like, oh, there must be something, something,
Fishy, yeah. Now
some
when you put it
story
that way, it
behind
sounds
it.
wrong. It sounds wrong. इतनी जल्दी लड़की है ठीक है बुला दो. It does sound a little fishy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my
Huh.
point. I was like, oh, I didn't even give an interview or anything. So I was like, oh, I got some dengue or something. I just made some stupid excuse.
But
But
then on the other hand,
yeah,
Yashraj has a very clean reputation. So you didn't you know
yeah,
that
but
ki
that I
Yashraj
got
is
to know later.
huh,
Like as an outsider, you hear like all those
yeah
crazy
Bollywood
stories
Bollywood
about
huh,
Bombay.
huh, huh.
I know. So that was the thing. So, anyways, but I had to come. So I started working at an art gallery in Delhi itself, and I was a gallery manager handling all the artwork and stuff. And then, but that film Kida was still going on. So I used to like during my lunch breaks and whenever I got off, I used to download the scripts from. There's a website called Scriptorama. So you won't find Hindi scripts, but like English film, like Hollywood film scripts, you can find, and just I used to read them for 2 hours at a stretch or something. And
Shivangi,
then
this
one
is
day I
very
was,
scary, yaar. You are actually you are exactly what you said you were. I mean, you work so hard, it's ridiculous, and you're not even getting paid at the moment. This
no,
style is like
nothing.
unbelievable, huh? Do you realize
So
that you're very different? Huh?
yeah, I think now I realize, yeah, I'm like I get like
Huh.
really crazy. so
So
so what
you
I
would
used to do,
research
like
the
I
entire
used
script.
yeah, I used to read script and I could visualize the world like it's taking place where like I could understand. And I had no idea what is this whole like art department and how at that point of time I just enjoyed reading scripts. So I was reading on some website, I think Sundance Screenwriting Lab, that this director Shonali Bose, she won this award, some like script writing award for her upcoming film, and I knew that I already watched her film Amu, her first film, and I really liked it with Konkana Sen and all that. So I had no idea like where she lives or whatever. So I just took on Facebook and wrote her that okay, I really love the synopsis of this film, the upcoming film, and I would love to work with you, and I loved your last film you worked on, and all that. So and I wasn't expecting any response from her, but luckily, I think I was like really fortunate that she did write back to me within a day or two, and she was like, I'm coming to Delhi and I'm going to shoot this my next film in Delhi itself. Let's connect and let's catch up. And this is my
Wow.
associate's number. Just talk to him. I would love to connect with you. And that movie was my first film actually, Margarita with a Straw. That was the
Yeah.
film she was
Yeah.
going to work
Malini,
on.
Malini Chib. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
That's the
So
story. But
Margarita with a Straw with Kalki and there was a
yeah.
Simon Gupta.
But
Yeah.
I can't understand. So Sonali Bose saw the Facebook. I mean, there'll be fans who write nice things and all, and she just called
I
you
know.
immediately. She didn't
Yes.
do any verification. कौन है, कहाँ से है? Because without little networking, even in the West, it won't happen. So that's
Yeah.
amazing. She just called you. I mean,
Yeah.
she just accepted it.
Yeah, she accepted it.
Did
She
you
wrote
ask
back
her
to me
later
that
when you became
okay,
friends? Did you ask her how come you just called me up like that and called me into the set?
no, I never asked her actually. I was like so excited because they just sent me the script a night before and I read the script. Thank God I did my homework. I used to read scripts like really fast. So when my first job came, they sent me the script at like late, like midnight, around like 1 a.m. or something. And next morning, I had a meeting with her. So I just read it in the night and then I was prepared. And then they were looking for storyboard artists. So thankfully, I knew how to draw. So her DOP, like cinematographer, was from LA.
Hmm.
She's some renowned photographer, cinematographer. So
Hmm.
she wanted a storyboard artist. And Shonali also, like in India, generally we don't work with the storyboard
Of
artists,
course
like
not. Sab
except
isme hai,
advertise.
isme hai. Yeah.
I know.
Huh.
So luckily, like her DOP, like really loved the storyboards I made, and then I was on board. Yeah.
So a
So
little
that
bit
was
it
good.
seems like it's right place, right time, bit of karma and luck. But a lot of it is that
Yes.
you're unbelievably hardworking and obviously talented. But let's say that talented is a given, but the hard
I
work is
think
like
yeah, it's a
ridiculous.
combination of everything. You just keep doing, like if I wouldn't do my like drawing practice or like film, like maybe reading practice, like I could read the scripts and visualize the world. I think even if I would get the chance, like luck would favor me. I think it wouldn't be. I think that
No, no,
journey. I
come
guess.
on. You're obviously
I think
talented.
it's a
You've obviously
combination of
no one
everything.
is going to hire you if you're not good. Okay, let's face it, there's money involved. People should understand that
Exactly.
people are not
Yeah.
hired for favors. That's one. I
Yeah.
want to know, I wish I had Sonali Bose on right now to ask her कि उस Facebook post में क्या exactly था that you immediately felt that इसमें कुछ है, because it's a few lines of praise. I'm thinking, what could you have said? Unless you
Yeah.
broke down the film and explained to her nuances and then she was impressed, which I don't think you would take a chance to do on a first post like that.
I did some of it, like what the parts I liked in that film.
Ah.
I did.
So you had a critical eye. So she appreciated that.
I
That
did.
you didn't tell us that. You critiqued it a little bit. What you liked in whatever way
Yeah,
I
in
see
her
her.
first movie, yeah. That's why, like, why I really would love to work with her. I think usually if you give the like genuine reason, like
Yeah.
usually people go meet someone, especially in our industry, and they like praise people, like, oh, I loved your film and all that. People know it's like fake. You're not genuine. But if you really know like what you liked and what you don't, so I
How
think
mean?
people.
Now I'm feeling bad. People say nice things to me. They're all fake. It's been 20 years of fake frauds. Unbelievable. Yeah. But also a little bit we should give the internet on this one, right? Because agar 1990s or 2000 ki baat hai, I'm just thinking you would not be able to reach anyone without some influence. I would not be able to enter a room, or I would not have
Exactly.
been right. But now with the
Yeah.
internet, you're able to just take a chance and this
Yeah,
can
social
happen.
media. I think it's a boon. It's an advantage if you really want to take advantage of it. Yeah, and
All right.
not waste
So
time.
Margarita with a straw, I think won a lot of awards and made a lot of noise. People appreciated
Yes,
it and all that. Almost all woman crew also, right? Um,
yes, it was.
yeah, which is also something very rare. If you look back 20 years in Bollywood, I mean, it was the opposite. The only woman is the
Yeah,
one in front of the camera. It was absolutely no one would be female on the set. So that's quite
yeah.
saying something. Let's just quickly cut to America. Mein kya hua tha? What did you study in between architecture and all this?
Okay, so I got my Margarita with a straw uh, break, and then I met the production designer of Margarita, and then he hired me on the next project. So that's how it all started. And I then after doing like 3 films being based in Delhi only, I got the confidence, okay, then I think I can survive in Bombay now and I can move to Bombay.
I
So I
slap on
came
Mumbai's
there.
face कि दिल्ली और अच्छे है. Unbelievable. The Mumbaikars are putting off this program right now. That she's feeling
No, but
safer. A young woman
now
from
I
Lucknow is feeling
feel
safer in
Bombay
Delhi
is
than
much
Mumbai.
more. No, and
Uh,
now after like experiencing Bombay, I love it much more than Delhi. I
may I
don't
tell
like
you,
both much.
Shivangi, बदमाश लोग सब जगह पे हैं. You don't have to point into the geography. I'll show you
I
rascals
know.
in every part of the country. So I don't think we
Yeah,
should badnaam any city. There's good and bad,
I know.
but also you're much more confident as a person. You're coming out of Lucknow on your own for the first time. Now you've worked with so many people, and also you're in a different mental state in terms of
Yeah.
confidence of people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But what happened in
So
America? I don't understand that. So
yeah,
you went
that's
to
what I'm
study
going
when?
about to
Huh,
tell you. So I
sorry.
came moved to Bombay from Delhi, and in Bombay I again took the help of social media, Facebook, my favorite. So
Yeah.
I wrote to the production designer. Like I used to watch films being in Delhi only, and in the end credits I used to write, like I used to learn, like remember the names of the production designers of all the films I loved. So I approached them on social media, and then once I moved to Bombay, I started writing to them on Facebook. And then within 2 months I landed in Bombay. I got a call and I had no idea. I thought there's like one of my friend is like kidding or something, so I didn't respond back. But then I realized, oh, this is serious, and that was a call for Bajrangi Bhaijaan. So that production designer called me for an interview, so I did go for it, and then I got a job. So yeah, that's how it started.
So now
So I
Facebook should
worked
use
on
you
that.
as a brand ambassador because
And
basically you don't. I think your thinking is, "Acha, ye to theek hai. I should get in touch. One Facebook post, job is
yeah,
confirmed." So amazing. What a
yeah.
story. So that's
I
Kabir Khan.
hardly I hardly use Facebook these days. But yeah, at the starting of my career, all these
So now
jobs
you're
I
a known
got through.
name. Now you're a known name. Now you just call up someone, they know who you are. I'm saying just that time it's just Facebook. So how was Kabir Khan to work with?
It was great. It was great. Like Kabir sir, as well as the scene sir, like the DOP, the cinematographer of the film.
Hmm.
And I never knew like I would work with him because he's also from Jamia. He's my senior.
Oh wow.
So people think he hired me, but no, director doesn't hire. Like my boss was the production designer. He hired me. But when I got into the project and we were doing Reiki and stuff, so then I met Kabir sir, and then that was great
But, but
experience.
this is a truism of India कि जामिया लोग and film institute लोग they basically do hire a lot of their own people. I have worked with
Yeah,
lots of people and they always come from the same, they do that. I won't call it
yeah,
nepotism, but let's call it
yeah.
teamwork where they sort of recommend their guys from different
Yeah,
batches also
it
and all that.
happens with FTII also, like the film school in Pune. So a
Correct.
lot of people,
Huh.
like their seniors, they approach them and then they just hire them,
Yes, the
recommend them.
great Resu
That kind.
came from a line of film institute boys who were working at MTV with us, and today is
Yeah,
Oscar winner. अरे भाई तो
yeah.
अमेरिका कैसा चले वो what was that story you're not telling me that
Yeah,
with
so after Bajrangi Bhaijaan, I worked on it for almost a year, and then I realized, okay, I need. Can you hear me?
I can hear you
Okay, okay. So
we can hear you we can hear you
I
we're
lost you
listening
for.
because if I keep talking I interrupt you and then we never get to the point I've been asking for America for 20 minutes it's like that
Yes, so
Delhi बहुत
after
दूर है LA
Bajrangi
बहुत
Bhaijaan.
दूर है it's like that huh sorry go on
Yes. So after Bajrangi Bhaijaan, I think I realized that okay, I think I need some like technical training because I studied fine arts and whatever I was doing, like just it was like on the job training I was doing, but I wanted to take a break and actually do a formal study in design. So that's why after Bajrangi, I think I did some independent ads and film also as a production designer in India. And then in 2016, I went to LA. I went to Art Center College of Design in California. And I studied masters in scenography, spatial design.
wow
That was for 2 years. And then I started working in LA itself. So that was the journey.
so that's again a little odd because generally as an in our country as you do well and you already made a name for yourself you've done 3 4 good feature films with big banners and all that you tend to not
Yeah.
think about going to do a course because you'll be hitting your peak after that your name is going up etc so naam kamane ke baad
Yeah.
it's almost like you've dropped that to go and study more
Yes,
which
I
is
was
again
already
the hardworking
getting
side of
work.
Shivangi
Yeah, I know people think I'm crazy, and I didn't tell my family also that because I was already getting calls for as a like independent
correct
production designer. I was getting music videos and all that. In fact, when I
Hmm.
was applying for this, and I already like was in the process of going, I got a call. I remember in front of my family, and I just like took a call. I just went outside and just like took a call, and it was a call for a music video from Rahat Fateh Ali Khan, and
wow
they wanted to me to do the production design of that music video, and it
in
was a big
Pakistan
thing because that time he was here only.
it was
It
all
was
okay at
with
that time
Huma
huh
Qureshi. Yeah,
huh
yeah, yeah. This was like 2015 or say 15, yeah. So that time, when my mom was like, "Oh, why are you going to US now? Because you're already getting good work." I was like, "No, I still want to do better." So maybe once I'm back, I'll be doing better
Was it
or
the right
something like
decision, Shivangi? I mean, your career, Touchwood, has
that.
done very well. But do you think it's the right decision to take 2 years, go study something else, or could you have just carried on?
I think it could have worked both ways, but now I feel like much more confident when I'm like designing. Like I can see the difference on my current project I'm working on. So I'm designing all the sets. I'm the like designing, and I'm just like I used to coordinate with the directors and took brief, but like the design part wasn't there because I never had a formal training in architecture or interior architecture design kind of thing. So I can see the difference, and
Plus, you
also
got to work
after
there.
sorry all yes, I worked there for like 2.5 years. I worked,
Right.
my first project was there were like few films I art directed back in LA, which went to Sundance and all those film festivals.
Film festivals,
But
huh?
major thing was I got an award from the Hollywood Art Directors Guild it's a union.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that was huge, and I was like really
For set
lucky.
design, for the
For
production
set
design.
design,
For
yes,
set design.
for
Yeah.
as a production design fellow. So
Oh,
initially that also I thought, oh, this is pretty simple, because in India, we once you do like 2 3 projects, you get the union card.
right.
Because in India also, in Bombay also, you have to be a union member in order to work in
Correct.
any of the film departments.
Yeah.
But when I met my American friends, and they were like, oh, we have been trying for this for 8 to 10 years, and you got this, like, you just landed here. I was like, oh, really? Is it like that tough? So they're getting into the union in Hollywood is like really difficult, but luckily they considered my work experience in India. So they said, oh, you have a lot of on-set experience. And then they did like 3 rounds of interview and portfolio and stuff. Sorry, you wanted
I was just
to say
thinking,
something.
actually, this culture issue doesn't come up because when they're looking at your work, you're looking at it as a portrait. So, it's not about if they don't understand Bajangi Bhaijan and the culturisms, even if
Yes,
you dub
yes.
it,
It's
sometimes they can't
visual.
understand the culturisms that are happening. They don't have to. They can still look at it as a postcard, and see that it's working well on different levels.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so they can appreciate your work. I'm thinking from different cultures and types of people and races and nationalities
Yeah,
without
sure.
any major issue. So maybe that also
Yeah, yeah.
helps a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that also
But
helps. And also, like, if you show them the design process, and in India we do like in Hollywood you have like so many, like within the art department also there's so many people working. Someone's doing storyboard, like concept art, then there's an art director, set designer, there's so many people working on it. Here there are like 5 of us and then doing everything. So you get to learn also a lot of things. So they're like
because
quite
we
surprised.
Because India labor is cheap. Now you have to understand. On this podcast, you have 8 people, and there's no money in the podcast. You can imagine just what the country is like. So which
Yes.
culture did you enjoy more in the sense? I'm sure they are on time, which is one thing I love about the West. 9 baje ka 9 baje, 6 baje ka 6 baje. That is one great thing. And
Yeah.
mostly they treat everybody equal. I don't think there's too much of a
Yes,
star
that is
system.
like really great. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really great. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They
यहाँ पे
don't.
तो you have to know your position all the time. There's a whole book about where you stand in the cinema
Yeah.
business. But otherwise, but then you wanted to come back home in spite of winning awards and doing well.
No, that was COVID. I came back because of COVID last year.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay. I
came
was
back due to
wondering.
COVID. I still
Yeah.
had my visa, but then I think it was good because I luckily came in just before they banned the international flights. So, yeah.
So
And
So what do you think? As the years go on, you're so young, you're still just over 30. I'm just thinking that you can easily be one of those people because now the world is global. And there are a lot of DOPs who are across the different cultures performing and whatever. Are you going to be one of those people, Shivangi? Are you going to be one person who doesn't think about if Iran calls you for a film, you're going to do it because you like it? It's
yeah,
like that.
I would love to do that. Love to. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I think that's truly like an artist. Literally, you're just taking your art and going to wherever and presenting it and not being stuck. Some of us are stuck in one place for like me, South Mumbai, for the rest of our lives. All right. So here's what we'll do. We'll take a quick break because we've gone well over 35 minutes, and we have to talk about a sponsor. We will stay with us. Silvery is joining us. He's also a young set designer from Powai who's stuck in the house because his mom unfortunately has COVID, but she's doing well, I'm told. Silvery, can you come in?
Hello,
Well,
hi Shivangi. I am not a set designer. This thing, disclaimer.
but let's quickly ask her. Shivangi, please rate Piche background. I don't know if you want to call it a frame. Whose frame is the best? Isn't his frame lovely? The way it's done, the decor.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I cannot see that completely, but I think I like it.
it's
Uh,
a you mean the
the
painting? It's
painting, the
a painting
painting.
of
Yes.
women. Yeah.
But don't
Hmm.
I
call it
mean,
like painting of
but
women. That just sounds wrong.
I
Give
mean,
it some more.
it is what it is. I don't know Rajasthani
Painting.
women. I don't know what it is.
Just leave it. Stop it there. I mean, really, we've had such a nice conversation,
Although
and then
I did
uh,
study architecture in college, though.
Oh, nice. Which
you're an
one?
Just
In
I
Bombay?
was in yeah in Bombay in Kamla Raheja. I don't know if
Oh,
you know
okay.
the
I
college,
know. I
but
know.
yeah,
and then
Uh,
yeah,
immediately
it's
Raheja
good.
Constructions gives you a job. I'm told. It means like as you graduate. Is it true?
No, I do live in the Raheja colony, so it's just that's how you get the
So you
house. You
are
have to make it
you are
yourself.
working on the building as we speak.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at my colleague, Silvery Antariksh, our producer, taking a sip of Slay coffee. Look how happy he is. That's the effect. Ah, man, I must tell you, these Slay coffee baristas are slaying it with their coffees, and I'm hooked. He's hooked. We're all hooked to the baristas. If I don't have a cup of Slay in my hand right after my workouts every single day, I get really cranky. Look at this face, this happy face. This is not normal. This is because of Slay coffee. Slay coffee really makes its brilliant baristas the face of the brand. So I know that today my coffee, for example, was made by Satish. Satish, you have outdone yourself, sir. Take a bow. और अगर अंग्रेजी नहीं आती है तो कोई तकलीफ नहीं है उसमें. I will translate it. Satish, take a bow. There you go. And may I add, since 2019, Slay has added the barista sticker on every cup of coffee, which means that every cup of coffee carries a sticker of the professionally trained barista who brewed it. It's not some joke. He's trained to give you this fantastic experience. This also further accentuates how much care goes into each cup, and it reassures me that my daily coffee is being made by a human on the other side as opposed to a heartless machine like my wife. No, just kidding. I just trying to be funny. Sometimes you say the wrong thing. She's not a machine. She's wonderful. She's beautiful. But I don't know. Between the two of them, I think I love Slay Coffee, and I love this barista sticker initiative. Makes my coffee feel so much more personal. Thank you, Satish. I'm dreaming of you today. So why wait? Order India's best rated coffee on Swiggy and Zomato today. Slay Coffee, India's best coffee experience. Beta, हो जाए एक और sip. Come on, यार. Ah, Slay Coffee.
So good.
So good. Oh, I injured my arm. I was in the gym lifting weights, doing, my normal pull-ups and traps with about 400 pounds in each arm. And actually, I was doing the bench press. I can't lie. I was on my eighth lift. It was about 360 pounds without a spot. I don't like to go lower and, embarrass myself. And suddenly my daughter enters all excited and she says, "Dad, have you heard?" And I said, "Heard what?" And she said, "Now you can get Kotak home loans at only 6.5% interest." What? I was so shocked. My hand slipped. The bench press bar fell on my other hand, and before I knew it, I'm on my way to hospital in a lot of pain. But before the hospital, driver, Kotak Mahindra Bank pe rokna. I need to do this now. I blame my daughter for this. ऐसी बातें बताने से पहले कृपया ध्यान रखे. I mean, come on, yaar. Terms and conditions apply. Interest rate starting at 6.5% PA.
We have
Okay.
some AMAs and all. Should we just get to those, or you
No,
want
get to the AMAs because I wanted to ask on a couple of films, but I think they'll get covered in the AMAs anyway.
All right, sure, cool. So not many of these questions are film related, but there's some very interesting questions. For instance, this first one, okay, comes in from Trisha Ramnathan. She says, "Hi, Cyrus and guest. My question is, I've just found out my son has a girlfriend in school at age 13. It's very cute, and me and my husband are quite okay with it. I'm just worried about how to have the talk with him, or even if it's too early to do so. How should I go about it? What did you do, Cyrus and guest? Did you
How
guys
old?
ever have to do this?
How
12,
old is the
13.
son?
13 is the
13.
son. I'm in
Uh,
school, so I'm imagining like they're both 13 in same class or something. Yeah.
yeah. So my house is such a liberal house that I think sexual education happened on their own uh, by the age of whatever. So I've never had to have any talk with them. And
Okay.
I only have my daughter only tells me one thing: my friends are coming, put your shirt on. That's the rule. Suddenly she'll put her head in and say, "Please put your shirt on. My friends are coming." That's a given. But with my 13-year-old son, I don't think I've ever had any conversations except I used to tell him, "Can you please put deodorant?" That's it, because I don't think girls don't like it, when we sweat and all that. That's
Okay.
my contribution. कि अगर
Wait.
तेरे पास deodorant नहीं है, तेरे पास chance नहीं है. I told him that.
Oh wow.
But he wouldn't
So
listen.
does
He
he
used to
just
say,
stock up on deodorants now?
"No, I don't
His
know," because
cupboard is just full of deodorants.
like
That's
all
it.
kids, they are different with their friends than what they are at home. Yeah, so we never know anything. The
That's true.
parents of the friends praise them, how well behaved, and I'm like, are you
Yeah, yeah,
serious?
yeah.
The
Yeah,
obnoxious kid
yeah,
at home, and then outside he's opening the door for the mother and saying,
yeah.
"Auntie, can I help clean up?" and all that. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, plate. He's never picked up from the
yeah.
table in his life.
Yeah,
But
I
then
used to be the guy. I used to be the guy who would
huh,
always go and touch my parents' feet. Like I would
huh,
never. I don't touch my own parents' feet, but I would
huh.
go and touch my friends' parents' feet, and I'm like, oh,
So
now say auntie.
why do we do
I don't
this?
know why. I don't
We
know why. I
cross
just
the
did it.
house and we become great
Yeah,
human beings. We want
exactly. My
validation
friends
and
hated
love.
it. Your
Yeah,
friends hated when you do that,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
dude, now you're putting up impossible
Yeah.
standards that now I have to
Right,
live up
right,
to.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
They
insane.
come back to the house and they think, "Ah, beta, kya
Exactly.
karte hai?"
Yeah, exactly.
Shivangi, sorry, this is a very boring conversation, but what is your contribution?
No, it's fine. I like
Huh.
it.
Yeah,
I'm
Shivangi,
enjoying
how would
it.
you go about this if you ever had to tell a child
Sorry, I
what
have
the
no
birds and the
experience
bees?
in handling kids. I just like I can't deal with kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think you can answer if you don't have kids, yeah, because it's
yeah.
just like till I had kids, I couldn't stand them, especially very young ones. So I don't know what to do with like I said, I'm very happy with dogs and cats and all that, but I just didn't know how to handle kids, and I hate being
Yeah.
fake. So when everybody was holding the child and doing choo 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 choo
Yeah.
and with them and all, I don't want to do that acting. So I totally
Yes.
understand what she's saying. But don't worry if God forbid you have your own children. Showing you don't have kids, huh?
No, I'm not
Otherwise, this whole
yet married.
conversation would have been wrong. Yeah, it all changed when you have your own kids. Yeah, then it's just really a different ball game. Very selfish thing with what to do. But I think today's kids with the internet and all silvery, just to get back
Yeah.
to the question, honestly, they don't need us. I mean, this as terms of sex and this and that and everything is available. They've grown up much faster than my generation, my kids.
Yes.
They know much more in terms of everything, and I can't. You say okay, child lock dal do, ye karo, wo karo, mat de do electronic device and all that. All the parents used to have this on their thing, and in the end, it makes no difference. The kid who doesn't have it has all the information because his friend has an advice, the neighbor has. I mean, look at Silvery. The parents came down very strongly on you watching erotic movies and all that when you were 12 years old, but it didn't stop you. No,
Never. Yeah, yeah. Why would
you
you
went
stop?
and touched the other neighbor's parents'
Yeah.
feet, and they said, "Ah,
No,
video
no.
hai
I
udhar."
I got my parents hooked on those movies. I'm like, yes, that's how I do it.
Chalo, next question.
All right. Next one comes in from Madhav Behel. He says, "Hey, Cyrus and guest, if you had the choice, how would you prefer becoming a billionaire? One job which pays you $1 billion, or 100 jobs paying 10 million each? Also, what's a job you'd like to see make you a billionaire?"
Yeah, but this thinking is very scary because when you think it's that just about the money and without the
Yeah,
path to the money, I think you go mad and you get into depression. So
that's
that way,
true.
I think she's really lucky. But Shivangi will give you the other perspective. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I get is that you really love working. You're very diligent. You're
Yes.
the opposite of me. You'll go to the library and read the whole book. You read the script at 1 in the morning, sleep 2 hours, and go and present it with a happy frame of mind because you enjoy the process. So that kind of person who gets the 10 million. We dreamers are dreaming of the 10 million without the way to the 10 million. So I don't know, but I definitely I
But
went for
I
the
think
lottery.
you're right. If you think about the
Only
the
money.
journey, I think it will be better instead of just
Correct.
thinking about like where you want to reach.
No, I used to. That's where the lottery concept comes from. No, I'm sure you
Yeah.
did it also, Silvery, at some point. I used to, when I
Yeah.
was a young boy, when I was 10, 11 years old, I used to cut lottery ka thing. I would buy three, four, and I would sit and and then I saw Naseeb, with the movie Begins. I don't know if you all have ever seen Naseeb. I'm sure you didn't watch movies growing up. Amitabh Bachchan, John Jani, Janardhan, all that. So it starts with a lottery, and then they inherit money, and then they fight and kill each other, the friends, etc., etc. So I was always hoping that my Naseeb would be great like that, and I actually won one 10 rupees, I think, finally. After
Oh,
mehnat of 1,000 lottery tickets of 1 rupees. So I was down 990. So that whole concept of lottery or gambling or horse racing and all, it all comes from the same mentality of, in a way, the person just wants to sort of cheat. I don't want to do anything, let the money come in. What to do? But Silver, if I die young, I'll leave you everything.
oh,
How's that?
great, man. No, not to your
Yeah.
children, no? Not to your children?
What, those parasites? What do they ever do for us?
I'm fine. Yeah, I
Uh,
don't mind. It's good. Yeah,
But you have to come and
yeah.
touch my feet, huh?
Yeah, that's fine. After you're dead, right? It's fine. Yeah.
I'll ask them to cut off my feet and send them to Powai,
Oh,
Raheja
great.
Chambers.
Cool, cool. Oh,
Yeah,
that's convenient also. Great. Works out
yeah,
also.
of course. I don't want to put you out, yaar. And if your mom has COVID and all, you can't come out. The feet will come in.
Yeah. Yeah, correct, correct. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Shivangi is trying to get out of this podcast. She's saying, "Why am I here?"
No,
Uh,
I'm
uh,
enjoying instead of
She's
like
making movies like
working.
Margarita with a straw. The very sort of profound sort of statements on life. And then us. Bolo, next question.
All right. This one comes from Karan Sadhana. He says, "Hey, Science and guest, big fan of the show. Guys, it's so great to see such great content coming out on Indian OTT platforms right now. What's been a series that stood out to you? Why? And what's great to see? What our actors are great to see in those roles? Is this trying to say
Shivangi,
what series you like right now? Yeah.
or more than one if there's more than one. And have you worked on any OTTs now of late?
Oh, you asking me? Not yet. I just haven't got time for that. I've been
Like
working on this Dharma
Dharma
film
production.
for
Huh.
past 1.5 years actually. So it's kind of
Wow.
crazy. And it will go until December this year.
This is
I
because of
just hope.
pandemic causing interruptions,
Yeah,
is
we
it?
had to
Ah,
take break because there's VD Varun Dhawan, so he got
ah.
COVID in like last December, so we had to
We,
take break.
how can
Again,
Varun
we
Dhawan
came
keep the
back.
name VD? VD is generally speaking, again from my generation, it means venereal disease. If you talk to your uncles or something, people who are over 40 years old, you say VD,
Varun
they'll think,
Dhawan,
"Kya ho
that's
gaya
like a
bachcha?"
really long name.
I'm not lying. VD was used. Now it's gone out of fashion. STD, VD, these are all terms of sexually transmitted disease. These were what was in Indian
Oh
lexicon in the
God.
80s and 90s. Now it's not there anymore. Now
Oh
it's a
God. Now
superstar.
every time
Superstar.
I'm going to look at him, I'm going
You're
to
going
think
to
of
yeah.
this.
Ask him to change it, na. They can go VDD because his dad's name is David, so VDD. That way it's
Hmm.
okay. It'll
Yeah,
throw it
I'll
off a little bit.
suggest him.
Puchna padega if he's okay with that. And he'll check with the numerologist and all. It'll take time. I don't know.
I know.
So no show you like watching, Shivangi?
I did actually. Oh, which one? I haven't watched something. I
Wasipur.
like I liked Amazon show this. I mean, you were talking about the Indian show, right? Or it
Yeah,
can be
Yeah.
Indian show.
anything.
No, Indian.
Uh, I think I liked Panchayat from Amazon,
Hmm. Okay.
and they're like I think many. I can't think of anything. Made in Heaven for sure, but
Hmm.
it's not recent. I watched it quite late actually.
What about Seema
But
Didi? That was the greatest show ever.
Patal Lok, Patal Lok was brilliant. I loved
Oh,
it.
so
Yeah.
Silvery, nobody likes
Uh,
my Seema Didi. What was it called?
Seema Didi?
This one. Indian weddings. What?
Indian marriage. Indian
Matchmaking.
weddings.
Indian matchmaking. Indian
Matchmaking.
matchmaking.
That's
Yeah.
Seema
That was
Auntie.
current. Oh no, I haven't watched it.
You have seen Seema Auntie? Shivangi, the moment it ends, you have to watch it. This is the
It's
greatest show
very
on
good. Yeah.
earth. Ah,
Which one?
Silvery.
It's on Netflix.
It has
Yes, it's
stopped
on
people
Netflix.
getting
Yeah.
married in India. People have stopped getting married immediately after that. Just everybody stopped.
It's
It's
about.
all weddings on hold.
It's about.
What is what
It's
is the
about
actual
Indian
title?
arranged marriages. It's about this matchmaker who goes about trying
Yeah,
to match people up,
yeah.
and
She's
yeah,
actually quite sweet. She's very
she's
sweet.
actually quite sweet.
It's like another world. It's a world that
Yeah.
probably hardly exists now in India, but it
Yeah.
definitely was there again 30, 40 years ago. It was very strong. And now it's
Yeah.
a dying world because of Shadi.com and whatever. People are just, using they
But
don't
I'm
need
sure in
anybody else.
small towns people still do this. Is it like this lady who is trying to fix?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
But
got
it's
it.
not small towns only. She's talking to these jet set people in Mumbai, Delhi types and all. It's all a
Okay, okay.
mix. Yeah,
No,
so
I'm
it's more to
saying
do with
in small towns it still happens. Like it's still prevalent, I guess.
I think it's more to do with the parent control. The parent control
Yeah,
goes through her. If the kids are taking not kids, the young adults are taking their control themselves and they do it themselves. Either arrange or love comes to the same thing. But
yeah.
Mm.
yeah, but it's a fabulous series. Fabulous. And I hugged my wife after it. First time in 12 years. you, you got to watch that. Chalo, next.
Right. Next one comes from Khushi Jadhav. She asks, "Hey Cyrus and your guest, I know the pandemic has been crazy for the film and television industries. What are some projects that you've had to work on during this time, and how has the experience been during COVID?"
Shivangi was just telling us stop start for her, and those are
Yeah.
huge feature films. I worked on a few projects, but luckily they're a little shorter, except for one feature. Um, Shivangi, how do you manage during pandemic? I mean, what can you do? We didn't know it was coming the second time around, and also
Yeah. The second time or the first time they're asking?
first time also. But I'm saying first time ke baad, we thought it was gone, right? We all started working again. We
Yes, in the
I completely
Feb March. Yeah.
in between say August, September of last year till Feb March. So it started getting okay, and then again it happened.
We started, yeah.
Yeah. So
I
was
think
it only
I
the
kept on working since last COVID only. Like I started working last like during first pandemic from August September itself, and I worked through December. Jan I took a break, and Feb again we started on this project, and then
but they couldn't?
April we had to go for break
Yeah.
because of the second round of pandemic. So April we had
So,
to take.
so then what happens? You're in the middle of the film. You're reviewing your own work. Now that you've got 3 months, and you're not able to actually shoot, you review it and change your mind about certain things and all, or it just
Yeah,
stays
it
where it
happened
is.
so much. Yes, yes. Especially like design wise. Like I thought about something. There's some wedding in the film, so I designed the wedding, the whole overall look. And then I had to like after 3 months, I don't like any of my designs, so I had to kind of go back and changed at all. So also like sometimes when you after 3 months when you go to the like location, that sometimes that location is not available. So you have to like director and the whole team has to look for the new location for the same
Oh wow,
thing.
that's horrible.
So we have
Actually,
done this like again and again in this project.
so
It's
it's like starting
crazy.
for you. For you, it's the worst. You have to start all over again, literally, for that scene or whatever's being
Exactly.
shot there.
The location, the measurement, size, everything changes based on the location. Like you
I
have
hope you get paid more because
redesign.
you made two films. Huh? Iska ek,
Yeah,
fir
like
uska ek.
3 films actually.
Literally,
Yeah.
literally, yeah. Please call
Yeah.
up Dharma, whoever you're working with now. You expect extra pay for this. Because I tell you, actors get away. The lines remain the same. Whatever emotions,
Yeah.
expressions, nothing's really going to change.
Yeah,
They have to
wherever they
rehearse
are.
and shoot. So what is the thing? They are just stop and start and it's done. You're actually doing the same work again, restart from zero, change the entire background, the look, the this, the clothes, everything gets hit. So
Yeah.
no, Shivangi, I'm with you. The
Like we
hartal
were
has to
about
happen.
to do few like things in Chandigarh and now we are doing those locations in Pune now. It's just like so much transition due to the
Where's
pandemic.
the closest Punjabi calling? I'm thinking Chembur. Huh? Sylvie,
Yeah.
they need. I mean, this is what do you do? Yeah, I've seen so many American films. What is that famous American series about spies and all that? And supposed to be shot in Pakistan, but they shoot mostly in India.
Oh, the one
It
with
was
Chris
very
Hemsworth,
popular.
right?
I don't know the names of actors, Baba, but it's very
Uh,
Extraction.
popular.
Extraction.
Extraction. Yeah, I'm talking about Extraction. Is it Extraction?
No. Home something. What is called home?
Alone? Home
Homecoming.
Alone?
No, it's a series of this. It's all this entire catching these terrorists and spies and all that. And this anti-terrorist sort of thing. Home.
CID.
No,
I don't
what is
No.
the thing for in the Americans use for home to protect the home? The what do they
Security.
call it? No,
Homeland
that's Watchman.
Security. Homeland
Homeland.
Security.
Homeland. That's the show.
Oh,
Homeland.
Homeland. Oh, okay.
Homeland.
I've
Homeland.
heard of Homeland.
So
Homeland. Yeah,
I recognize places like we're watching it. It's supposed to be Islamabad. You clearly see it's Delhi or just outside Delhi. You
Ah,
can make out.
what I
yeah.
know.
Oh,
Yeah,
because
but
it's
for their foreign
safer.
audience,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Like in
whatever
Yeah,
reason.
well.
Bajrangi Bhaijaan, we created like the Pakistan part in Rajasthan, in like Mandava in
Oh, wow.
Jaisalmer.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. I
that
always wonder
tunnel
that. Did you?
we created in Jaisalmer in the sand, in the desert. We created
Oh, wow.
that
Did you
tunnel where
ever
you.
had to go to Pakistan for that? Did you? Was there actual Pakistan
We
parts?
would love to, but we
Yeah.
couldn't get visa.
Yeah. Yeah.
so everything when he crosses to Pakistan, everything is India. What we saw in Bhajangi Baijan,
Yeah,
when
it's
they
all
cross it
India. Yeah, yeah.
into
Very well
Pakistan,
done.
there's
Yeah.
not Pakistan. That's pretty good,
No
Yeah.
huh?
Pakistan.
Yeah.
Because
It's
So
very
I
good.
all
Yeah.
totally, I mean, I
boats,
never thought
like
it
the
would.
signage, everything we created.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Wow.
know
So
even the
then the
actors that
Punjab, that Sindh part we created here, but that train part, if you have watched the movie, that train where that crosses the Pakistan border, so that
hmm,
we created an actual जो India Pakistan का border है, just उसके पहले ही हमने gate बनाया था. We could see the Pakistan, like the actual Pakistan flag from there.
Oh.
but you
जहाँ से
still
वो
didn't
train
cross
आती.
it. You
We didn't
made a
cross it. We
fake stop
created
and
it here. Yes,
yeah. So
yes,
I suppose the land will look little similar, but still.
yes.
But I don't think there
Anything
was any.
closer,
Oh,
but in
huh.
India.
Wow,
And then the
that's good.
climax was in Kashmir. We did in that climax where he's coming
Hmm,
back.
hmm, hmm,
Salman is coming back. So that we did in Kashmir, Sonmarg.
hmm.
So how do you get these reference points? Okay, this is what I want to look like. Has someone taken photos of streets in Pakistan and you're just doing those,
Yes,
or are you
we do
making
it.
up?
That's my job. Yes, it has to look authentic. So it's our
Wow.
department.
And don't
We
forget, we have
research
Bollywood has a seriously strong Pakistani audience also. They'll be able to tell.
Yeah.
I
True.
mean,
Yeah.
that's the
exactly.
challenge
I remember for
also.
me it was a great thing because usually actors are not that much involved. And I remember I met Nawazuddin sir for the first time.
Abhi sir
And
ne bolna padega. Because he's not here. Just say Nawaz
yeah, that's
bhai.
fine. It's like Salman said Nawaz. It's all like kind of like
Uh,
inbuilt now.
uh.
So
You have
even
to say
when they're
Salman
not there.
sir.
Yeah, I always
You
used to
can't
call
say
him
Sallu.
Salman. No,
I've always
of
said
course
Sallu
not.
and Navu
Who would
and
call him
Kabu for
Sallu?
Kabir also. Silvi, what do you call them?
I mean, if I'm working with Salman Khan, then I probably want that job. I'll call him Sallu Bhai or Salman Bhai or something. I'll just call him Bhai. I'll just call him Bhai.
Yeah, he
That's
I
it.
think
loves
he's
Yeah.
pretty
calling.
cool. I
Being,
Yeah.
don't think he cares,
he is
honestly.
very. Yeah, I loved working with him. He is
Yeah,
very
chilled.
genuine person. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
very nice,
There
especially
you
for
go.
us, like
Yeah.
for his crew. Yes.
Yeah,
So
he's known to. He never bullies people. He only bullies like big people. That's his style. Yeah. I've noticed that.
He knows like who are the people who are genuine. So like
Yeah, he'll
if
never
like
attack. Yeah, correct.
yeah, he knows like the light man, the art department, all these people are like really working hard. So he takes
Hmm.
care of his crew. That's a very sweet part of him. Yes.
Chalo, we'll call him Bhai then. You've convinced us. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we
Yes,
take one
Cyrus,
more
Margarita,
last
talking
question?
about this.
Huh.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, you go ahead.
So no,
Sorry.
please, not show. You talk.
Stop my show. It's your show. I'm
No, it's
just a
your
guest.
show. But the guest
Okay.
is the show. What is the show? I'm only talking. We tried that. Shivangi, we tried that. Believe me. And it didn't work. So this is it. Come. What were you saying?
Cyrus, can we
That
take
Sorry. Yeah, you
Slay
go ahead,
coffee.
Answer.
Slay
yeah,
coffee?
no, let's do a mid AMA break. We have an ad. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Shivangi. See what you've done? Now we have to do an ad.
Sorry.
Uh,
Just
oh,
do the
it's not.
Intel one.
It's so difficult to understand so many things in the tech world, like artificial intelligence. What is that? It just sounds like science fiction, doesn't it? Shivangi, all the guests laugh at this point. Huh? It just sounds like science fiction, doesn't it? Close on Shivangi to get her laugh. Okay. Luckily, though, we didn't even get a smile. Now we're getting a nice smile. Luckily through Intel's digital readiness program empowers everyone with skill sets, mindsets, and tool sets to use in an AI fueled world so you don't end up like me. And Shivangi, you should be very fond of this program because without the internet to begin with, your career wouldn't have started. So you must
Yes.
appreciate this ad. Thanks for saying yes. As part of the Intel for Youth program, Intel's been working with the CBSE, Ministry of Education, and Government of India to empower today's youth to build social impact solutions while demystifying what AI is. Shivangi, can you repeat that?
No, sorry.
I'm just checking, yeah. Don't worry. How do you take advantage of this? Purchase an Intel Core powered PC and you get free access to 80 plus hours of immersive and hands on training about AI. On completion of the program, along with a certificate, you get access to AI toolsets to try to put what you learned to good use. Now, don't wait. Log on to futurebanaWonderful.intel.com. Future Bana Wonderful by bringing home an Intel powered PC today. Shivangi, this is the power of capitalism. We do everything at one go. In between, we
Yeah.
chat also in the ad. Can you believe we've come? I think it's fantastic that you can stop the ad and have a conversation, not to do with the ad, and come back.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
AMAs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next one comes in from Roop Trivedi. Uh, she asks, "Hi, Cyrus and guest. I'm a 24-year-old and have been wanting to get into the entertainment industry. My areas of interest are production and costume design, but I don't have any friends or family who have worked in the industry. My question is, what advice would you give someone who is looking to get into this aspect of the entertainment business?"
Facebook! Follow the conversation.
Yeah,
Facebook!
Shivangi, Facebook. That should do wonders. Yes.
Shivangi, how does
Just
it
like
Shivangi?
work?
watch the movies, learn about like the best, like the costume designers you would love to work with, and try to reach them through Facebook or any other like Insta. Now Insta is there. There's so many other.
You're saying internet only. There's no way you can approach someone
And like
otherwise. I mean,
if
how
you
do
are
you
in Bombay, then yeah, you can go to
go on the set?
some physically.
Go
Yeah,
on their
but
set.
there's so much security. I
Ex-
don't know how you'll get into.
Exactly. And they'll feel like you're harassing them, no?
Yeah, exactly. I think the
So
best
basically,
polite ways to like because you cannot get the email IDs also unless you have some contacts.
yeah.
So I think the best way is to just like send your portfolio and resume on social media and wait for them
Can
to get back.
Can we give your email ID to her? We have it.
Yeah, sure. I know some costume
I'm kidding.
designers.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I
But
get so many messages through friends and friends, so I try to help as much as I can because I didn't have that
exactly.
kind of
Correct.
opportunity. So definitely, I would love to help as many people as I can.
Okay, done. So there's hope thanks to the internet, and also if you find some way to persist and badger the greats of the industry like Shivangi, and then maybe they can help you. Do you keep interns when you work? Do you keep people with
Yes,
you
we
who
do. Yeah, we do. We
so on
always
a big
looking for
project?
an. Sorry.
On a big project like the Dharma project right now, you'll be
Yes,
taking 2 to 3
yeah.
people who will be learning.
Yeah.
Basically, they're
Yeah,
learning on the
that's how
job.
I also started. Yeah, that's how you can learn like on the job and then because there's so many different skills. So anyone can
Yeah.
come with various
And the
skills and then
pressure the
learn.
pressure of actually making the film will be the best way to learn, right? Rather than just going
Yes,
to
on
yeah.
set, yeah. Like There's no way you can learn like stuff other than being on set.
Okay, I think we've given a false hope, and that's all we try to do on the show. So, Silvery next, last.
All right.
I've got a guy for the test. We have to shoot something tomorrow. He's waiting
Sure, sure, sure.
outside. Sorry, Shivangi, that they put that thing in your in India now. This is the way we chat. Complete stranger comes and puts a earbud in your mouth or nose, and just walks out. कुछ hi bye कुछ नहीं नाम भी नहीं पता. I don't know who
used
he
to
is.
get COVID tests like every week
Every
on this
day,
my
yeah,
current project.
yeah.
Every week. And we used to shoot in PP kit during the first COVID.
Oh yeah.
Like
Correct.
15 hours in that COVID PP kit.
We
That must
also
get-
had this
Yeah.
on one show. No, but the thing is, they are on the PP kits. The actors are not. So there's 6-7
Yeah.
of us who are
Oh,
not.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so it makes no sense actually, because and we are actually without the mask throughout mostly. But even between the
Yeah.
takes, you don't really put it on. Some in the
Exactly.
first day they were coming and saying, "Please mask dal do." No, second day nobody bothered. So I don't understand the point of that. It's just too many people, and like half of them are doing, half are not doing. What's the point? I give up. Silvery, mom's okay.
She is better. But she's double vaccinated. It's not like a major risk or something, just regular fever, like viral symptoms, kind of. Yeah.
You stay away from her. You're single vaccine, no?
I know I'm both vaccinated as well, but yeah, we're all isolating in our own rooms for the most part, and she hasn't left her room since finding out.
What
Like
if
since
she
the last 2
enjoys
days.
it? And once she gets better, she says, "I want to keep it this way."
No.
By bringing
She's
the
like,
food into the
she
room.
keep
and
lying.
everything.
She keep lying. No, I just did the self test, and I still have it.
Yeah, I'm not fully better.
Yeah.
Jaldi bol. Last.
All right. This one comes from Daksh Panjwani. He says, "Hey everyone, regular listener of Cyrus says, guys, it often happens that we say the wrong thing in everyday life. Have you ever had an interaction that you wish you had handled differently? Like you hoped you had said something else or had a better comeback, perhaps something that would have made you look better. Have you had such moments?"
My whole life story is this only. Saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. You have no idea. There's simple things like fellow VJ of mine. I remember we were at an event and they were famous as a couple. She and this other. I won't take names. And so I just asked, "How is so and so?" And she started crying
It's
because
Anusha and Ranvijay, right?
No, I'm getting it all. But she started crying, and everyone's looking at me
betting.
like I'm a monster. And like, you should. They just broke up. We convinced her to come here for the event and all. I said, "Mere ko kya pata? This is just PC. You come there, you start talking, and the first thing you say is, how's?" I really didn't mean to make her cry, for God's sake, yeah. So I've done lots of stupid things. Please, yeah. Calling the artist by the wrong name, I'm the king of that. Really. Like, and that's so bad. The one thing you should prepare for is who's the artist. I'm talking about MTV shooting days, not so much podcasts. I know Shivangi is written there. Even idiot like me
I
can
love
tell.
watching you on MTV. That's how I know you. And when I heard about this, that you wanted to interview, I was like, wow.
Because I used to call the wrong artist names. You have no idea.
No, I used to watch you on the MTV, and you and Nikhil. I used to love a lot.
Oh,
I
Nikhil,
would say
yes.
I saw you watching like as growing up as a kid, because that will make you look old.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
but yeah.
So it's okay. We've heard it a lot. It doesn't bother us now. He's still working on MTV at 76. I don't know what he's trying to do, Nikhil, but yeah, he's still there for some reason. Yeah.
In
So
those
do you
days,
do?
that was the only way of for us, like for young kids. The MTV was kind of like a fresh thing to get
Actually,
a
we did a
break
couple
from
of events
those
in
like
Lucknow.
monotonous.
We have done events in Lucknow. Lucknow was a very good city for us to go to in the sense that you have a lot of colleges, and we have proper events there. I have good memories of Lucknow actually back in the late 90s, early 2000s, coming 2-3 times the city. Shanaz speaking in English to all the reporters who were all asking her in Chase UP Hindi, and she, ma'am, इस program के बारे में कुछ बताओ, and she'll be like, "It's all about the metamorphosis," and some big words like that. And I'm like, "Oh God, this is going to be the worst." But really great, and of course the food. My God, I love Lucknow actually when I think about it. Oh yeah, not just that, everything. The strange thing is I've noticed is that the liberal of Lucknow, the academics and the well-read people of Lucknow are very liberal. Lucknow gets a slightly wrong name because you have a certain government and blah 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 blah. It's not reflective of the city, and I've been there as recently as 2018, so I can verify that. But people don't understand the country because they don't travel enough, right now, Shivangi?
Yeah.
Like you and me. Sorry, Suchita. 10. I know your secret. Put it on Insta
I don't know
now.
why I told you.
On Insta now. Yeah. All right. Guys, can we cut it here? I've got to run and
Yeah.
get this test done. He's waiting
Sure,
outside
sure.
the door.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
Bye,
much.
having
Shivangi.
me. Thank you,
Real
Cyrus.
pleasure. Don't be silly. Wonderful. We'll be following you.
No, no, it's like you. I can't tell you, like, just being honest. Like, it's great to chat with you. I've been watching you all like on MTV, and like finally watching, actually talking to you in real. It's great,
Oh,
great.
I thought you were talking about Silvery for a second. Okay,
No,
okay. Me. No, no, the pleasure is all ours. Listen, you've done fabulously well. I love the fact that you're this person who was a nerd who works really hard and just continue to do that. And sometimes the good people who work hard do well. That's also that. Nobody talks about
yeah.
these stories. I'm glad we're showcasing that. Okay, so have a good weekend, everyone.
You
Bye
too.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.